I'm getting too old for this podcast.
How fast are they?
Well, we clocked the T-Rex to 32 miles an hour.
T-Rex?
Mm-hmm.
You said you've got a T-Rex?
Uh-huh. Say again.
We have a T-Rex.
Put your head between your knees.
Dr. Grant. My dear Dr. Sattler. Welcome to Jurassic Park.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
This is Cheapseat Reviews.
Hello, and thank you for listening to Cheapseat Reviews, the podcast that explores the Hollywood film industry for the greater good. This is episode 129, and today we are talking about Jurassic Park. That's right, we are finally doing Jurassic Park, the movie, the legend, the dinosaur. I am Sean Allred, and joining me tonight is Andrew Dodson. Dodson, we've got Dodson here! Jemison.
Hey.
Cornelius, objects in podcasts are closer than they appear. Logan.
You damn right.
And Sam enjoys torturing children. Vector.
Okay. Well, let's just say, Sean, that if you and I were in a car and a T-Rex was attacking, and I had a flare, where I could light it up, I'd probably throw it at you.
You throw it at me.
At you.
So we're in the car together. You just light the flare and then throw it at me.
Yeah.
So then I just grab it and then burn your face off with it. And
then
then
I'd be running.
And then I kick you. So you're the one running. So he's chasing you while I'm stationary in the car. Good job.
No, because you'd have the flare.
It wouldn't matter. You're the one moving.
You would have attracted.
No, because
but now don't forget I'm pouring gas on you beforehand. So when the flare hits, you're going to be pretty. I'm going
to be barbecue
noticeable. Yeah.
So once again, Sam proves his weird violence towards me early on in the podcast.
This is not the last time tonight, folks.
Oh my gosh, you're pouring gas on me and lighting me on fire. Would
you rather die by fire or be eaten?
I think actually kind of eaten, truth be told. I think it might be quicker death than burning alive. That sounds terrible.
T-Rex wants its food cooked.
Anyway, my gosh, what is wrong with you tonight? Jesus. Do I need to start the show over and you less in a homicidal mood? Good God.
Oh. Yes. Well, I did just complete my weekend with watching the Stranger Things horror movie type stuff.
Does that happen? Does the hero light his friend on fire? I mean, is that a thing that happens?
No.
Oh, okay. So
it's a shoot the hostage situation.
Yeah. Okay. I figured you're just going to go with I don't have to outrun the T-Rex. I just have to outrun you bit, but no.
Well, that's no, because you won't be able to get out of the car because you're on fire.
I'm still confused how you've got gasoline and poured it on me and I'm just allowing this to happen, but I'm going to move on because this is getting weird. So thank you for listening to this awful thing we just called an intro of this podcast. So let's get started. This is 1993's Jurassic Park. And if you've been listening to more than this episode, we normally aren't homicidal on this show, but Sam typically is anyway. But Sam usually does. He has some strange, weird vendetta against me. I'm kind of confused by it. But
sometimes,
anyway, that's the only reason why, in fact, I keep him on the show is so that I can have concrete empirical evidence that so when I do die, the police will have 129 episodes of audio of proof to know who to
Although I've been gone for about 4 or 5 of those.
That's fair. That's fair. Anyway, 93's Jurassic Park, and this is 100% Sam's favorite movie.
Absolutely. Top of the heap.
And so it was a surprise when it popped up on Netflix, and it has been a pleasure watching it. So it'll be real fun to talk about it tonight. And we'll just kind of see where the night goes. So Andrew, if you have been watching, if you don't know anything about what Jurassic Park is, and hopefully the words that Andrew will read will make sense, and if not, then go watch the movie and then come back to this show, because otherwise it will be confusing. So Andrew, if you will.
All right. Huge advancements in scientific technology have enabled a mogul to create an island full of living dinosaurs. John Hammond has invited 4 individuals along with his 2 grandchildren to join him at Jurassic Park. But will everything go according to plan? A park employee attempts to steal the dinosaur embryos, and critical security systems are shut down. Now all hell breaks loose.
All right.
That's pretty fair.
Where did you get that from? Because that's definitely not what IMDb says.
I improvised a little bit.
Oh, okay. You just Google that, or?
Sort of, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it's actually, if you scroll down to the storyline, it's right there.
Oh.
Is it on the back of the VHS?
No. Oh. Although it could be. I don't know.
I see.
It says
Yeah.
written by a film fan.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. It says written by Sam here.
Actually, if it were Sam, it would be much more glowing in its review. And he would probably still have he would probably say words like quintessential. It's the quintessential adventure film, and people would say that's not a word, Sam.
And then I say, shut up.
Yeah, it's exactly what you'd say. So yeah, Jurassic Park starring Sam Neill. This will be our second
Marvel
Sam
connection?
Neill. He's our Marvel connection?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll let you think about it.
Okay, give me a second. I will think about it. He's our Marvel connection. I am coming up blank. Hang in there.
Just go. Keep going. Keep moving.
What? Samuel Jackson?
There's a lot of Sams in this.
You said Sam Neill is our Marvel connection. I'm thinking, and I'm having a hard time.
He's definitely not the one.
No, he's not the biggest one, obviously.
What do you mean I said starring Sam Neill, and you said our Marvel connection.
Sam Jackson.
I didn't say Sam Jackson. I said Sam Neill.
I call him L. L.
Okay. So let's be fair. Once again,
is the
Sam,
biggest Marvel connection.
If you have not seen any of our or listened to any of our podcasts, Sam Vector knows very few people in Hollywood and what they actually do. So Sam Neill, the star of his favorite movie, who he thought was in Marvel, has been in 0 Marvel projects. So let's just get that out of the way. It also stars Laura Dern, Jeff Goldblum, Richard Attenborough, and several other people. Yes, Samuel L. Jackson is in it, who is also in, a Marvel movie, or 12. But anyway, gracious. So I guess we will do our, and of course, directed by the Steven Spielberg, the one and the only, the incredible Spielberg. And music by John Williams, which was you heard twice already on the show, which is flipping amazing. He's awesome as always. Though it was funny, I watched this as my new tradition has been to watch this with my wife, and she's reading her book or she's playing a game. She's not really watching, and all of a sudden she just looks up and she goes, "That's the theme from Harry Potter." And there's about half of the bum ba-dum bum 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 part in this movie where it's just kind of like in the background while people are talking, and we went back and listened to it a couple times. I'm like, oh yeah, cool. Well, it's John Williams. He's allowed to borrow from himself. So anyway,
he doesn't borrow from anybody else.
Yeah, so. No, he's never done that except the Jaws theme and several other movies. But anyway, so at this part of the show, we like to kind of give our initial thoughts and kind of, I assume we've all seen this movie before. And so we go there. So, Andrew, your initial thoughts, sir.
All right. Well, Well, I went to see this when it came out in the theaters as I was in 4th grade, possibly somewhere in there. And I know you were you had already graduated high school by now.
Sam was already
That actually might be factually correct.
But anyway, I fell in love, and not necessarily right away from what I saw on the screen, but from what I heard. John Williams, as a musician, this is one of the most beautiful and brilliant movie scores that I can think of. And even today, I teach high school band, and I have students that ask me, can we play the theme to Jurassic Park? And I'm thinking, well, you kids weren't even born when this movie was, when it came out, and they love the music. So that was what drew me to the film, and the moment that I can remember the most, and I remember sitting in the theater watching this, was the moment when they see the Brachiosaurus for the first time, and the music there was just so delicate and it was, I can't even explain it. The acting that Sam Neill does there, and the other actors on the screen who are looking literally at nothing, some CGI things that are added later.
Maybe a tennis ball at the end of a stick.
Something.
Yeah.
But they make you believe that they're looking at a dinosaur, and it was just realistic, to say the least. Now, looking back on it now, is the CGI really great compared to things we have now? Maybe not so much, but for the time, it was amazing, and still is amazing.
Great, thank you, Corny.
Yeah, what's up? I don't remember the first time I saw this, and subsequently, a couple times after that. But it is one of those movies that I will never not watch. It feels great to watch now. It did then. I even in the watching for this, I had a lot of fun. I enjoyed it, even though we all knew everything that was coming. It was just a great movie to watch, and I really can't say anything bad about it, except for a couple of issues with Super Saiyan children. But other than that, it's pretty good.
Kameya.
Yeah, you can't say that.
Well, I mean, he was electrocuted. Maybe he retained
takes 10,000 volts,
that,
which would explode his heart.
Yeah.
Again, I don't care if the raptor was in a freezer. I don't care. It's still a raptor.
I'm with you.
Anyway,
2 grown adults.
But
oh, and then he has the wherewithal to run into the freezer and then run back out to lock it in there, but he can't pick up the shotgun to help him out.
Yeah.
Way to go, kid. That's great.
Anyway,
he's a kid. What can you expect?
And that whole situation, he goes, "Oh, I'm going to go to this new park that my grandpa has." And he comes back to school, and they're like, "What happened to you?" "I don't like dinosaurs anymore."
Right. You still want to be a paleontologist when you grow up? No. I'm gonna be a lawyer or something. I don't know.
I want to be Ian Malcolm.
Yeah.
Just a guy just looking for sex all the time.
Right.
No matter what.
Absolutely.
And I'll take it back. This is the only thing that I noticed differently. How much of a sleazeball Ian Malcolm actually is.
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
Yeah. I didn't never notice it either. Like, I always knew he was like a little flirty, but he's like touching her in kind of intimate places. Like, he's touching her hair while he's talking about chaos theory or whatever, and she's not like shooing him away. Like, shouldn't she be doing that? Anyway.
He is essentially Master Roshi.
He really is. Oh, wow. Okay. That's interesting. Interesting analogy.
Jeff Goldblum finds a way.
Yeah, he sure does. And I still don't. All right. So Spielberg is like, all right, so Jeff, we're gonna have you on this table, and you're gonna be labor breathing, and we're gonna have your shirt. We're gonna open. Can we open up a shirt? Yeah. Let's spray some sweat on him, and now we're gonna have this glamour shot of you.
Weird. Do you think he requested that?
Great. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? I mean,
he went to Steven Spielberg and I've got this great idea.
Yeah.
I sit on the table and you take my shirt off, kinda.
Yeah.
Pseudo Matthew McConaughey and.
And I love your. That's a pretty good impression there, Sam. I like that.
Thank you.
And so then, we would get the same kind of thing, but 25 years later, it's Michael Bay looking at Megan Fox. But it's like the same thing, right? But for whatever reason, in '93, we wanted to see Jeff Goldblum's sweaty chest. I don't know why, but I've seen memes since this movie came out. Memes became a thing and GIFs and whatever. And the GIF that you posted with when they superimposed Grant when he's leaning on the trike as his breathing, so they've got him on top of Malcolm, snuggling each other. But for some reason, I thought that scene wasn't real. People had somehow
made it up.
Yeah, and then when I watched the scene, I thought, oh, not only do we get the shot, he the camera is pushing in on him, and he's there for. I mean, it's 4 or 5 seconds of screen time. It's it's intense.
There's dialogue. Yeah.
Well, it's not it's just the dialogue. Later on when he says that great line, Hammond comes over and he brings over the schematics and lays them on top of his leg, which is all kinds of effed up. And he says, the line with, yeah, but when the park breaks down, the pirates don't eat the tourists, whatever. He looks like he's in pain and uncomfortable, but this one he's ready for Debbie Dallas to come over and help him out. He's ready for his close up.
All we needed is a little saxophone as they
zoom into
it. This was early '90s. Yeah, it could have.
That would have been.
John Williams is a little classier than that, I guess.
He is. Yeah.
We would have got that saxophone from Lethal Weapon. Yeah, that would have been good.
Yeah. Well, that looks like a scene out of Lethal Weapon, to be honest.
It kind of does, yeah. I mean, it kind of looks like he's got come here eyes. But anyway, we'll come hither eyes. I mean, we'll come back to Mr. Goldblum. I'm sure he'll come back up later. Sam, I guess it's your turn. Or Corny, were you done?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm just thinking about Jeff Goldblum.
I'm sorry. Or maybe not. I don't know. That's a good thing. I don't know. Sam, have you seen this before?
Oh, yeah.
I saw this movie 82 times before seeing it this time.
That's so strange to me that you know how many times you've seen it.
Yeah.
That's
it's
very...
a tick on the... It's a notch on the bedpost every time I watch Jurassic Park.
It's also the amount of times that he...
Anyway,
he makes kittens cry.
Yeah. But it seems like something like.
Oh, if it's Wednesday, it's time for.
Yeah.
It seems like something like Mr. Monk would do. He
keep track of something silly.
Yeah, he just you have your Jurassic Park folder spiral binder that your dad got you when you were going into college. And when this movie came out,
a Trapper Keeper?
Yeah, like a Trapper Keeper, and then you every time you watch the movie, you put down a little mark. Yeah.
No, for some reason I've kept track. I saw it 13 times in the theater, so after the 13th time, it kind of sticks with you. So then you're like, okay, seen it this many.
Interesting.
So
actually, I stopped counting how many times I've watched Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yeah, so you might be up there too. You just haven't counted.
No. I mean, I know I'm in the 20s, but
82. But in fairness to you, Corny, Scott Pilgrim's been out for 5 years.
Yeah.
When Scott Pilgrim is 26 years old, let's see if you're close to 50.
Okay, that's fair.
16. Yeah. Minus 1993, so that's 23 years since this has been out.
All right.
Which means in 2 years they're going to re-release it again, and I'm going to see it in the theater.
Are they really?
What's that?
Are they really?
I would guess so. Yeah.
That's when the Jurassic World sequel is coming out too.
Yeah.
Oh, neat.
So I only see this movie on average 3.6 times a year.
That's a lot.
Still not okay.
That seems like
really?
A lot. Yeah.
Actually, no.
3 times a year.
Now that I've said that, I just Scott Pilgrim's 5 years old.
Yeah.
I've seen it over 20 times. Yeah, I'm definitely watching over 4 times a month or 4 times a year.
Yeah. But again, it's it's still super new. Like if someone would have said that at that ratio when it came out, when we were younger and had less things to do, I get that. But that just still seems like, and I bet you the number
it has slowed down.
Yeah, I would bet that the number has. Like
it's
probably
I saw
like
13 times within the first 3 months.
Right, exactly, and so like that I get.
Well, and that's how it starts. Like when it's new, it happens very often, and then as it progresses,
it slows down.
It's like birthdays and holidays and anniversaries. That kind of stuff.
Wednesday nights when the kids are asleep.
Yeah. That's how it goes, Sam. I mean, you know, you could probably push Jurassic Park to give you a little bit more, but you don't want to push it too much. It's classy.
No,
you know?
Yeah. The tape is already is rubbed raw, so let's just make sure we keep that fresh.
I'm just curious. We haven't let you get to your intro yet, but I'm curious, Sam. How many mediums do you own this movie?
I have 3 VHS versions. I've got the original, the Criterion, and then the widescreen version.
Okay.
What the hell's a Criterion?
Criterion.
It was a thing that came out like in the late '90s, early 2000s, where like it was right before DVDs kicked out.
Yeah.
And it was like all of these movies were like all of the ones that it wasn't Criterion's it's not a brand. It was like I don't even know how.
Sometimes they would add things to the movie. Sometimes.
Yeah, they did this for a bunch of movies, like a bunch of the big blockbusters. I remember that because I think I have like the Criterion of a bunch of other movies. I'm actually going to look that up while you talk.
I get it. It's like an Apple product. Hey, we'll sell you this thing.
Bingo.
Wait, what's that? You need functionality? No, we'll sell this to you.
No, I've got 3 VHSs. I haven't obviously used those in forever. The original DVD, Blu-ray. And then I just got the new one, the 3-pack that came with the unfortunate third sequel, or the part 3 and 2. So, and the digital, of course.
Oh, sure.
So, but yeah, I've got a few of those.
Yeah, sorry, I'm going back just 1 second. The Criterion Collection is like, it's a thing. Like it's it's actually referred to as the Criterion Collection. And they've done all kinds of movies, like the original 3:10 to Yuma, and you can actually select. Let's see, search by director. My gosh, like Wes Anderson and all this other stuff. So Jurassic Park. No results filming. What? Okay, weird. Anyway, my point is it was a thing. Sorry. So you have it on. You have the VHSs. You have it on the DVD.
Yes.
You have it on Laserdisc.
No, I don't have the Laserdisc. I never had a Laserdisc player, so
bull.
Never. What's that?
I call bull.
No, we did. Now, well, here's the funny thing.
I did. Yeah.
My dad said, "Okay, Sean, Laserdisc. These things are coming. These things are going to be awesome." So we joined one of those movie clubs, and Dad bought like 10 Laserdiscs. And then before he had saved up his pennies to buy the Laserdisc player, DVD came out. And so he was like, forget that, I'm going to DVD. It's way better and cheaper. So we owned 10 Laserdiscs that we never watched. And one of them was this movie. We owned this. We owned like The Natural. I think maybe Star Wars: A New Hope. Like we owned some like pretty good movies on Laserdisc that we never got to watch.
Never even saw.
Yeah,
that's weird though that you would get. That's like us buying DVDs before we had DVD player.
It's exactly right. I mean, it's It's all of the analogies work that you can think of. I mean, it's
The only reason I bought Lethal Weapon 4 as my first DVD is because I had wasted all my money on the DVD player, and it was a cheap movie at the time.
Right. Because back then, man, DVD players were expensive.
Yes.
Like, the cheap ones were like $250, and that doesn't, I mean, it might have been more than that.
That's right.
Yeah, like...
Yeah.
It's crazy to think right now I could go to a
you can go to Walmart and buy a DVD.
I can go to a pharmacy store and pick one up for like change in my car.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
And then steal one from a kid.
And still have enough money to go and buy Taco Bell.
Yeah.
You know, so...
Well, I mean... That's true.
Yeah.
So
you don't live like a mile from a Taco Bell.
That's awesome.
I'm impressed I'm not dead yet.
By the way, not to sound super creepy, this is going to sound like something Sam has said, but Corny, I've driven by your house twice now.
That's fine. I've been in your house 4 times this week.
Well, next time you need to clean up because my house is a mess. So sorry. Anyway,
had some good cake, man. I'm sorry. It was delicious. Oh, wait, that wasn't your house.
I was gonna say we don't have any cake
that you know about.
I wouldn't know if there was cake in my house. Hey, I'm a fat guy, just as much as any of you guys are. So anyway, Sam, please continue with your intro.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I was gonna say I've seen it in about every medium possible.
Yeah.
IMAX, regular theaters, dollar theaters.
Did you do the 3D when they re-released
3D IMAX.
Was that kind of lame? I mean, honestly, was it kind of not worth it?
It was okay. It's the, what do you call it? The post 3D.
Yeah.
It was,
Okay.
I mean, it was worth it in my mind, only because I'm kind of crazy about the movie.
Yeah, and you get to see it on the big screen again, which would have been pretty cool, I guess.
Yeah, just the music alone, when you're in a big theater, and when they pump out that, my gosh, it just gives you chills.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is going to be a weird movie to review because I am almost certain that every single person, or the person who listens to us, has seen this thing.
Hey, Jen.
There's very few people in this world, very few people in this world that have not seen Jurassic Park, and they might be, some of these younger kids. But even then, I mean, gosh,
we don't want those as listeners, though.
Stop it! Yes, we do.
Is that we always argue about when do you show your kids Star Wars?
Yeah.
Is Jurassic Park, when do I show my girls Jurassic Park? And
Parker saw Star Wars, a couple of years ago.
Yeah, my kids, I mean, they're 6 and 3, and they've both seen at least Empire Strikes Back.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Lucy's getting close to Star Wars age. We'll see. This one's a little harder only because there's, people getting eaten, arms falling off, and stuff like that. But
even weird plasticky kind of looking arms, but still to a 4-year-old, it's probably still pretty gross.
Oh yeah,
and scary.
Yeah, who's used to My Little Pony?
Right.
Are you
to a 10-year-old? I'm huge.
Yeah.
What's happened? Where's the goat, Daddy? Where's the goat? That kind of thing.
Michael Jordan's retired.
Oh, there he is.
Oh.
No, goat.
But anyway,
you don't know what goat stands for, do you, Sam?
What?
You don't know what goat stands for, do you?
Jake?
Goat. You don't know what goat stands for, do you?
Wait, what the hell just happened?
No, I don't. I guess I don't.
All right. Well, let's recap real quick. You said you made the joke. Where does the goat? Corny said Michael Jordan is retired. GOAT stands for greatest of all time.
Oh, okay.
So if you ever hear like one of your kids say such and such is a goat, they're saying it's actually a compliment.
Oh, because I thought.
Or they're just calling him some type of a trash eating machine. Either way.
Yeah.
I call Jake a goat only because he is the goat.
Yes.
Not in that acronym.
No, not Jake. No.
Yeah.
That was kind of
no offense, Jake, if you ever listen.
I don't think he does, but I really don't think he ever will now.
So anyway, the movie's gonna be hard to review. I think I don't even know where my brain is right now. I think I talked about it in our top 10 episode. Why this movie is so dear to me.
Mm-hmm.
During the summer of '93, I was sent up north, and we were in
that thing
Des Moines.
You did. We don't like to talk about it.
We were in Des Moines, Iowa, and we went to see a matinee of this movie. And for some reason, we were about the only people in there. And it was one of the best cinematic experiences I've ever gone through. This movie hits the nail on the head in terms of all my interests at that time. Dinosaurs, science.
Kids getting electrocuted.
Electrocutions, disembodiment.
Yeah.
Lots of different things that was, just at the top of the heap.
Shirtless Ian Malcolm.
Yeah. That was your favorite part.
So it kind of stuck in my head, and it was like a drug that I had to go keep hitting.
Sure.
And I just really absolutely love this movie. I do admit it has faults, but I don't care. It's kind of like kind of like your Star Trek stuff, where there's some corny, weird stuff going on, but you just don't care.
Yeah.
And
I have never been in those movies. Thank you.
But
I would love you more if you were.
I just love it. Spielberg is a master of building these thrillers. From Jaws to this, even Saving Private Ryan, with even though it has some pacing issues, you have to admit it's about as intense as you can get for a movie. And the relatable characters in this movie, other than Ian Malcolm, these folks are pretty regular folk.
Yeah.
I just enjoy it. Now, does it hold up? That's a big question we probably need to answer tonight. I believe the T-Rex scenes absolutely hold up. Except maybe for the last one where it does look a little superimposed in the room. Not to mention being able to portal itself into the atrium.
So here's a funny thing. I actually want to say this real quick, okay? Because I have given you shit for years about that dumb scene, right? Because I'm like, how in the hell? My issue was not that it got in there quietly, which is still an issue, but how did it get in there in the first place?
At all.
Yeah. And now the advantage
clearly he came down the same way the humans did.
Well, actually, what happened was it was
through
funny.
The ceiling.
Yeah. On that drop ceiling that apparently people can walk on again. They bought that same stuff that they got from Sneakers.
Yep.
And every other movie ever. But no, we have the benefit, at least I have the benefit of, I watched this again on my really pretty LG, high def 1080 whatever, and I was watching it, very high def whatever. So as a result, I got full widescreen. And there's a scene where there's a kind of a wide shot of the room where it shows the group right there before the T-Rex Ex Machina comes in.
Yeah.
And it shows a wide shot with the raptor on the left and the raptor on the right. And over their right or left shoulders in the background, there is an opening where they have not finished the wall. And there's glass doors. They're completely open. And you see it actually flapping in the breeze. And it's about a 2-story tall window, So I'm like, that's how that stupid thing gets in there.
But wait, though. It comes from the different direction, though. It comes from what would have been the front doors.
But in the screen, it comes from... Okay, I can't believe I'm defending this. But it comes from right... it comes from right to left, in which in that moment would have been from the correct direction. But it... Yeah, like... You've probably read...
I can't defend the scene much anymore, merely because in Jurassic World, which is considered canon, when the two boys get there, there is no way that there's nothing there where the T-Rex would have come through. Well, in terms of holes.
Well, do you want to talk about holes? They got into a Jeep that had been parked there for 20 years and started up with a new battery.
That's why you got to buy a Jeep.
I mean,
that was a great Duralast commercial.
My God, or a Jeep commercial. Oh, sure. The fuel lines are great and all the belts are good after 20 years of jungle. Yeah. Jeeps are awesome. Anyway, but Sam, you've probably seen all of the behind the scenes and watched the documentaries and whatever. So you know what the original ending was, right?
Oh, yeah. So Alan Grant was supposed to sacrifice himself.
Oh, damn. I would love that.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't read that one.
Oh, okay. Which one did you read?
The one that I read was the original ending was right as the raptors are about to pounce, the floating T-Rex bone that they crashed.
Yeah, the skull would come down.
The skull would come down and kill one, and another one get pierced by a bone. And that was the original script. And the crew were like, that's actually kind of dumb. Yeah. So it was actually... Now, Spielberg, of course, takes credit for coming up with the idea of T-Rex Ex Machina. But... So in fairness to that particular scene, the ending makes it great because you turned the T-Rex into the hero.
Yep.
So, hey, whatever. So it can use the force and kind of get into the building. I'm whatever.
So could we consider the T-Rex our first anti-hero?
Hey.
I wouldn't say first.
Maybe first animal anti-hero?
Okay. Have there been many more? I don't know.
That's what we should have done our top 3 on.
Animal
no.
Animal
anti-heroes?
Animal anti-heroes.
See, Rocket Raccoon. I'm sure a Kardashian counts.
Caesar from Planet of the Apes? The Rise of the Planet of the Apes, maybe?
Yeah, okay. He's an animal.
Yeah. I don't know if he's really.
Did Jaws eat anybody bad?
No. I don't think so.
I never saw any of the sequels.
I'm sure somebody littered, so that counts. Yeah.
Somebody littered. I don't know. The only other animal I can think of would be in Jurassic World when the raptors turn on the humans for a few minutes and then they're like, "Hey, sorry, bro, we got you. Go ahead."
Oh yeah.
At least they didn't talk to him.
Yeah, you didn't use the skull to blow like a
like a conch shell.
Whistle, a conch shell.
And then he looks at him and goes, "Hey, Alan," and then wakes up.
God, that third one was
It's so bad. It's so bad.
Oh,
it's so funny because like you look at that one and go, well, now I get why Crystal Skull happened. You know, like sometimes Spielberg needs to say no. Anyway,
or I wonder if it's just maybe it's a dare amongst friends. Hey, I bet you won't make a movie like this. Psh, whatever, I'll do it.
Oh yeah,
we'll still go watch.
Shoot, yeah, we can make a movie about aliens. Oh no, aliens. We've done aliens too much. Oh, because we just did World of Worlds. Oh, interdimensional beings. That's better. Yeah, we'll do that. Thanks. Thanks, John Hurt. Were you done with your intro, Sam?
I don't know. I love this movie. So,
okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Although we kind of turned the tables there, Sean, for some reason or another.
Yeah, well, that's okay.
I'll probably be defending quite a bit, but there is some stuff that I just can't. So we'll see.
And that happens. So, again, as I always answer my own question, I saw this in the theater when it came out in '93. I was 11 at the time. I remember being actually really scared in the theater.
Yes.
The scene that got me, where I actually closed my eyes and buried them into my hands, was the scene in the kitchen when the raptor. For some reason, I didn't get the fact that it was the reflection. I missed that somehow. So when the raptor dove at her, I thought he was gonna get her, and so it scared me. And then all of a sudden, I look up and she's running away, and the raptor's on his back. And I was like, I had to ask my parents, like, what happened? And they're like, it was a reflection, and I had to go back and watch it. So I think I saw this in the theater like 4 times.
Wow.
I think twice with my parents, and then I went one time with I think Steven and then another kid. I went with another friend, and that technically 4.5 times because the T-Rex scene was too scary for another kid that I went, and we actually left. But he was like, I think he was 9 when we went and saw it. So it freaked him out. Like we left the theater after the T-Rex scene. Like once they were out of the car and they were just in the branches with the Brachiosaurus, he leaned up. He was like, "Dad, we need to go." So we left. So anyway, I really like this movie a lot. I mean, it's so fun and great. This movie's got joy and some humor and some jump scares and some scary stuff. And I personally think the animatronics behind this movie outweigh
really
the CGI. Good. Oh yeah,
absolutely. They had a perfect mix.
Yeah, and in fairness to, I mean, what they did with CGI was great, and because he originally was going to use stop motion, and then they were like, no, ILM was like, no, hold on, watch what we can do here, and so then he did, and he was like, oh, that's amazing, and then the stop motion guys were like, oh, I want something to do, and so they're like, okay, why don't you come into the studio, you stop motion the T-Rex, and then we'll animate it. And so that's kind of how they worked together. Yep. So that other guy.
He also mentioned at some point that his job was going extinct.
Extinct, which is where that line comes from in the movie. But there's actually, and all told, CGI moments. I think there's only like 8 minutes of screen time where it's CGI. Everything else is an.
There's only 15 minutes of dinosaurs.
Of dinosaurs, yeah.
Yeah.
And here's the funny part about that, Sam. When I read that, because you don't really think about it in the movie because it feels longer than what it is. But that's because Spielberg is so good at not showing you things. You know, like the opening scene, we never see the raptor. We see an eye, right? Yep. But there's like this tension and this really interesting thing happening on screen. But we don't, it's not like an actual robot. Dinosaur has got that poor dude by his waist, which I'm still confused how he was eating him while running around back and forth. But anyway.
It's a raptor. They know how.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
It's kind of like when I chug milk on a treadmill.
Oh, that sounds awful.
Milk was a poor choice.
Yeah. I just see Sam with this gallon of milk. It's just pouring down his chest. And then you get done and you wipe your mouth and you just throw the gallon in the jug, empty jug off to the corner and then you go puke.
Yeah.
So anyway, crap, I totally lost where I was going. But anyway.
All I know is that the gardener of Jurassic Park, the guy in charge of trimming, is doing a really bad job in that opening scene.
What do you mean?
Well, you think about it. They're carrying this raptor, right, in the cage?
Yeah.
Where does it come from?
Out
of the woods.
Well, all right, so that's going to lead me to my first note, Sam, okay?
Okay.
And this is literally what I wrote, all right? I know I'm starting off nitpicking here, but here we go, Sam. You're right. That opening scene, which is great, but I'm forklift trained. I don't know if any one of you guys, any of y'all, Sam, you've probably driven a forklift with your construction business.
I use a lot of forks. Yeah.
We all, right, Sam? I'm not wrong there, right? Yeah, so you and I both know that when you're carrying a load, you keep it low to the ground, because if your load up in the air, it starts to get wiggly and it falls. Like, it's better to fall from a foot down than 16 feet down. So Absolutely. Not only are you driving this thing at like 8, 9, 10 feet in the air, you're driving it with a moving, living animal inside of it while driving through trees. But it makes for a cool scene because they're all kind of scared because the bushes are shaking as this thing comes through. So.
Not to mention the most dangerous animal you've ever seen or kept.
And so maybe another question I have, Sam. And so I think we have to make an assumption that this is the first raptor they're putting into the cage. Can we make that assumption?
I don't know if you can make the assumption,
because
all you really know is that
I'm going to make the assumption, because if you have done this before, you know that when Gatekeeper Bob lifts up the thing, it's going to run in there. Like, why wouldn't you leave the forks underneath the cage to keep it from rolling back,
or having some sort of lock-in mechanism?
Lock
to the door.
Right.
Oh no, I'm there with you. There's some pretty bad engineering.
Yeah.
He spared no expense, but apparently the engineer was asleep on the job that day.
More times than F-bombs were said in Wolf of Wall Street.
No.
Expect no expense.
Yeah. Well, it's like one F. What was that ratio? Like 6 F-bombs every minute or something. Anyway. So Sam, like, that's the stuff that like was like annoying me just a little bit, and that's only because I'm 34-year-old dude watching this movie for the 30th time or whatever, right?
It was done for a look.
It was, and I understand why. So it didn't like pull me out of the movie. Again, I know this is a movie with dinosaurs, but I am okay with that, right? I'm okay with that kind of that idea. There's just some things that there was some decisions didn't make sense, even back then, I guess. So, but again, I understand it made a cool opening scene, and it forces the plot along, right? We have the death, which forces the lawyers, and we have to get these other people on the island. So I get why they do it. But
not to mention, you need a scene like this to open a movie like this.
Oh yeah,
to give the audience a jolt.
Yeah,
so that the next part of narrative, which isn't as exciting.
You don't want to be bored for the first, because then you don't. Your next real exciting moment is when they see the dinosaur for the Brachiosaurus for the first time. And that's the thing movie makers do all the time. So I forgive it when like a huge object is clearly in front of you, but we don't need them. We don't want them to see. They don't want the actor to see it until the right time, like when the music cues you.
Yeah.
Because they would have seen that long ago, but whatever. Also, do you have to drive through the park to get to the boat dock? That seems like poor planning.
Well, it's very mountainous.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my only excuse there. I guess, just to get places, you have to go kind of crazy roads to get out.
It just seemed like, because in Jurassic World, I guess they figured that problem out. Like, you put all of the entrance near the boat. Because otherwise you're having to jeep people into the park, a handful of people at a time through the park. It seems extremely inefficient.
Too, in the book, Hammond was completely different in terms of he was wanting money. He was going to make millions.
Yeah. And
it was going to be a select few who could come to the park because they could afford it.
All right, I need to go ahead and throw this out here now.
Please.
So I've noticed some things, and I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but there's a particular group of people who like to, what's the best way to say this? F with things that are like 5 times their size and will eat them. And this group of people, they do this as fun and sport, and the same group of people like to jump out of perfectly good airplanes and strap a bed sheet to their back because, why not? This is one of those things where I see this happening again.
Go ahead and say it, Corny. It's okay.
Yes. Who are you calling you people?
I'm not naming names.
It's okay. You can say it. White people are crazy.
No. White people have no fear. If your lives are so good that poking a line with a stick because it's just a cat. I mean, come on. You have to think to yourself, is my life so boring that I have no challenges? Like for me, going to the store could be death, but people will jump off of mountains in giant wingsuits and this is fun. I don't understand.
I love you're basically pulling the bit from Chris Rock says in The Longest Yard. He's like, "Heck, I can get you guys Prozac. I don't know why you people are so depressed. Smile, you're white."
It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and the one black guy in the movie does get eaten. So,
which is in a
heroically eaten.
Which is stinks because he had the scene where he was actually, they had written in the scene where he was supposed to get eaten, but but there was the hurricane came through, an actual hurricane, and he was stuck on the main land and they couldn't fly him out to do a scene, so that's why we just got Arm.
Huh.
So
I did not know that.
Dude, Sam, you could spend an hour in the trivia. That's what my note was yesterday about the trivia. It was that when you have a movie this successful and this influential, everyone wants to throw some garbage trivia in there. So after, I spent, and I mean literally, an hour last night combing through the trivia because there's probably 150 to 200 bits of trivia, and 65% of it is complete bullshit. I mean, it is. It's stuff that it can't be real. I cut you off, Corny. You were saying something about how crazy white people are or something.
No. I wasn't saying it. I mean, I was implying it.
Oh,
let's get that straight. I was implying the hell out of it. I didn't say it. No, but anyway. So I was going to actually go get to the point of, you see, we couldn't have a Samuel L. Jackson in this movie for very long because at some point in time,
he's going to drop an F-bomb.
He's going to be like, "What y'all doing?"
Right. Dude, do I need to bleep that? I don't know.
I don't think so. I self-muted myself.
Let's hope so.
You mark the time.
Whatever.
So
you're I'm with you, Corny. You're right. But I don't know. Just I'm going back over the trivia. And I'm just scrolling and going back and trying to read some of the really dumb things. Although sickly in the film, a Triceratops could in reality battle a T-Rex.
Yeah.
Why is that trivia in this movie? That should be in a book. I mean, you know what I'm saying? That's Scott the paleontologist from Dinosaur Train should tell me that. Not in this thing, But
by the way,
Dr. Scott the paleontologist. You're right. I'm sorry. I got to give him his due. He went to medical school.
For Dinosaur Train.
For dinosaurs.
So I like to point this out for Dinosaur Train. Eventually, that Tyrannosaurus Rex has a bad day, and that train also has a bad day.
Has a bad day, yeah.
Yeah. Those pteranodons are going to wake up with Buddy nibbling on their legs one of these days.
Oh, it tastes like chicken.
I'm just so hungry. I can't help myself.
Sorry.
Screw the fish. I'm eating you.
Yeah. Or carrion. Isn't that what they always eat? Carrion, because it's just like gray meat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and no one knows what carrion is. Yeah. Anyway, that's beside the point. So there's a funny thing, Sam, that happens in this movie every time I watch this movie, and I mean every time. Now it's probably been 5 years since I've actually watched it, maybe longer, and actually just sat down and watched it. But and occasionally it'll be on like TBS shows the third one a lot for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe because they think it's funny. But they'll, you know what I'm saying? Like, because they do that. They'll show the third one a lot. Or, but every now and then, like AMC will do like the all three marathon kind of a thing. Especially,
they've been doing that lately too.
Well, they did a lot last year in preparation, obviously, for the new movie. So anyway, every time I see the scene where Newman is out there and
Dennis Nedry.
Yeah, Dennis. Yeah, and he's out there, and he's like, Dodson, we got Dodson here, and he's eating. Every time I see this scene, I instantly want Mexican food. Every time. Like, so we watched this last night, my wife and I. Monday night.
So he Pavloved you, is what you're saying.
Seriously, like, so we're sitting there at the house. It's like 11 o'clock at night, and I get to that scene, and I pause the movie, and I look over at Sarah, and I go, I want tacos. And she says, it's 11 o'clock at night, and we've already had dinner. And I said, I want tacos. And she looks at me and she goes, well, you have your leftover taco from dinner last night. And I went downstairs and heated up my taco and ate it. And it was delicious. So, like, we had tacos tonight for dinner, oddly enough. But, like, if we had to watch...
Hold on a second, Sean. Cordy, did his audio go out there for a second?
I think it did.
And that was a perfect timing if that actually recorded.
Oh, I don't...
Just so you know, Sean.
I don't think so. What did it sound like to you?
I made a brief mention that you screamed to Sarah that get in the kitchen, make me a taco, and then you said, then I had tacos and I enjoyed it.
Oh no, I didn't even hear you say that. Oh, that's funny.
Oh, Sarah's gonna hear this.
I don't think she did because I didn't hear it.
The crazy thing is, I actually sat in a chair at a table where Dennis Nedry sat.
Yeah.
Yeah, in
Hawaii.
Kauai, to be exact.
Well, it's the state of Hawaii.
You can tour a lot of the sites they used, and that was one of the ones where I was able to experience the movie. I've also been to where the gates were.
On a not nearly as cool note, when I was in Hawaii in '95, we saw the atoll, the floating city where they filmed Waterworld.
Oh, that's one of your favorites.
Huh?
That's one of your favorites, isn't it?
Favorite's a strong word, but it's one of my weird guilty pleasures.
Yeah.
The dirt place. Yeah, it's the atoll. It's the metal building, the metal place. They actually built it, right? And then they would tow it just out to sea so that you could do 360 without actually seeing the island or whatever. And then when they were done filming it, they sold it to some Japanese people, maybe the Japan for all I know, and they somehow towed that thing across the ocean and then sank it to help with their reef out there. So,
oh my gosh.
Anyway.
I want that job so bad.
To tow cities across the ocean?
No, to sink things.
Oh, sure.
All right, let's see here. Oh, I got an old boat. Give me the big stuff.
Time to make a reef.
Will it float? No, it doesn't.
My next note was, quote, where should we build the helipad? Near the prettiest waterfall on the island? Sure. Anyway. Like, there was no reason.
I've been to that waterfall, too.
Well, and I'm sure it's a beautiful place. And it was a beautiful place for them to have the backdrop as the helicopter was descending. But there was, again, no reason to do it other than it was pretty, Like, here's some more trivia. I'm not going to go into too much of the trivia, but there's so much of it. Supposedly, Sam, and you can either say, oh, no, that's true, or I call bullshit on that. The scene in the helicopter when Grant picks up the two female ends of the seatbelt and can't buckle himself, so he just ties it, that's supposed to foreshadow that the female dinosaurs on the island find a way to survive and breed.
I don't think Spielberg went that far.
I don't think so either.
He's not a Kubrick.
No.
I mean, he's a master, but he is not quite that level detailed.
I think it was a funny moment.
It was a funny moment, yeah.
Oh, I honestly thought that's what it was for. Forever.
What?
Signifying the female
that eventually it'll evolve and then be able to.
Yeah.
I mean, I really
be able
thought
to
that.
buckle.
I will tell you, Sean.
Yeah.
There is in the old trailers for Jurassic Park, there is a scene in the trailer that never made it to the movie, and it still drives me crazy to this day.
Where she grabs the leaf off the tree?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't do that. It's a neat. It's just a scene where she just grabs a leaf and she's like, "Oh, look at this leaf, it's pretty," and then she says later on and whatever. But
yeah, and it makes sense when she's in the Jeep saying, this shouldn't be here.
Right. Which I'm confused. Like, are you telling me that they found like a caterpillar that had eaten that leaf from?
See, and I think that's maybe why they took it out. Is because they were like,
how do we explain?
Mosquitoes don't have that DNA.
Yeah, why would they be eating leaves? So. Yeah. But whatever. There you go.
But that was on the way out to the big boys to see the fields of dinosaurs.
So my next question for you. Basically, I'm just going to address my questions to you because I just assume, like when we do with comic book movies, I just kind of address my questions to Corny because he usually knows the answer.
And we do the same with Andrew for his porn collection.
I didn't know where you're going with that.
I didn't either.
Well, that was the best possible answer. So the bit when they get in the room, right? And then
Mr. DNA.
Well, before Mr. DNA, he's talking to John. Are we supposed to believe that John Hammond is going to go in and do that bit back and forth with himself for every person that comes to Jurassic Park?
Yeah. I wondered that.
I don't know. Yeah,
you're going to be there all day, sir, and you're old and you're rich. Like you need to be in some fancy schmancy, hotel.
Maybe there's an animatronic coming later on down the road.
You mean autoerotica?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
When he said that, I was like, I guess I never, or I was too young to know what it was. When he said it.
Yes.
But for some reason, this time I watched it. He got to that, and I was like, seriously?
It's kind of a face palm, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's I think it's just a bad joke.
Yeah,
because no one acknowledges the joke. Like he's just like, no. There are no animatronics here at Jurassic Park. Like, wait a minute. He just said autoerotica, and you're going to let that go? Even Ian Malcolm should have turned around and been like, what the hell are you talking about?
Actually, I'm pretty sure Ian Malcolm was like, oh, tell me more.
Yeah, please. I mean, he starts unbuttoning his shirt. Maybe that's what he was talking about.
Objects in mirror are closer than these.
Hell yeah. So then my next note was, why does Mr. DNA sound like L from Star Crash? If he would have said, you can't keep a good DNA down. Yeah. I would have lost
Can't keep a good Jane down.
I mean, I would have lost it. I mean, it's obviously not the same voice actor, but I just thought it was really interesting that they went with Southern dude for Mr. DNA.
He's relatable.
I guess.
Yeah.
Like Bill from Capitol Hill,
Yeah, well, yeah. And I think that, Sam, to your point you mentioned earlier that, in the book, John Hammond is this money-grubbing kind of asshole who dies at the end, spoiler. But
pretty good death, though.
Yeah.
In terms of
the ways to go, It's pretty gross and kind of awful, actually. But in the movie, they changed it, I think, simply because you would have too many bad humans.
Bad guys.
You know, and plus he's relatable, right? He's your granddad. He's your granddad who he's a billionaire granddad who just wants to do right by the world. I just want to show people this awesome thing, whatever. So
things that they'll never see anywhere else.
Right, exactly. So I'm good with that. Why couldn't they just have a dead cow that they could just throw in for the raptors to eat? Why did it have to be alive? Like, I feel like they're going to spend a lot of money repairing those harnesses.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, that's a real big waste.
Yeah, maybe they're just still new to it. You know, they're trying to come up with ways. Since these are brand new types of animals, maybe they are they're kind of learning as they go.
Yeah. Okay.
Clever meal.
Yeah. I think like they would eat the cow whether it was alive or not. It's not like you're hunting the cow.
And it's kind of inhumane to the cow.
Oh my God, no!
I mean, that poor cow was just having a hard time down there.
It was ripped apart alive. Remember, we've already established you were alive when they start to eat you.
I'm not quite dead yet.
That would be great if the cow, like as it's going into the cage, like pulls up a sign that says "Eat more chicken." That would have been great if Chick-fil-A had been around back then to have that campaign. And like they show the scene as it's going in, and just as a sign says "Eat more chicken."
I bet PETA had a field day when they saw a cow lifted up with a crane.
Joke. Well, that was kind of
no animals were harmed. Yeah,
that was another joke I made, or maybe not a joke, but I guess it's a joke. Because I made a joke about the goat, the actual goat, not the other goat we mentioned earlier.
Damn it.
And I said that is it just in a box in the ground? Like, who feeds that goat? And is it always just there to entice the Rex, right? So that's a poor existence for a goat, right? I mean, we get mad at our chickens, or we get mad when chickens are like confined to coops. This thing can't even leave, you know what I'm saying? Like it can only stand or sit. So I said, no wonder he built this on a different country's, island,
East,
so that he
Costa
wouldn't
Rica,
so he wouldn't have to deal with PETA.
Pretty sure PETA would still have something to do with it.
Well, they would be like on a boat, like boycotting from the coast if they found out somehow.
Yeah. But I assume that there's an infrastructure beneath all that.
Yeah, like Disney
That's the
World.
only thing that makes sense to me. Kind of like Disney has the underground tunnels.
Yeah.
They would have the same thing under the roads and close to the cages like that.
I would.
Yeah. Get to the meat of the issue, if you will.
I mean, they do go underground to flip back on the electricity.
Right.
So I'm just guessing that spider webs into all sorts of parts of the park.
That would be kind of cool if maybe they could have either shown us or told us that just for no other reason than they're like, oh, that's kind of neat. But then my brain would have been like, my God, how much money did he spend on the infrastructure just to hold up all these tons of dinosaurs?
He spared no expense.
I mean, anyway, interactive CD-ROM made me laugh a little bit. Like, okay, I know it's 93. You're doing the best you can, but that's and this is funny too. And Sam, you probably noticed this on your 40-second viewing of the movie, but it wasn't until this time where I was like, holy crap, the kid is dressed like Grant.
Yeah.
Like they're dressed alike. I mean, like he texted him ahead of time, like, hey, what are you wearing? Oh, you're gonna wear the bandana, and then you're gonna wear the shorts, and then the shirt, the other shirt, and then tucked in. Gotcha. So
he idolizes them.
Well, Grant might be one of those people that wears the same outfit all the time.
Yeah.
Like Steve Jobs or something.
Right.
And the
Peter
kid.
Griffin.
Yeah. I was thinking Homer Simpson, but yeah.
And the kid, he said that he read his books, so he might have.
Yeah, he's like.
Might have picked it up somehow.
Yeah, I was told that Alan Grant was coming because.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I get it. I mean, again, it didn't bother me. It was just funny. It's like, wait, is Orlando wearing Han's clothes? It's that same thing. It's like, oh, you're wearing the same clothes. And you're right. I mean, he read his book, and maybe on the back cover he's wearing his Indiana Jones get up, right? And he's like, well, I saw the Indiana Jones movies, and you look kind of like him, so you're just missing a gun and a whip, So.
Speaking of Indiana Jones, he was really awful at his job, to be honest.
Indiana Jones?
Yeah.
Oh, we want to go there for a minute?
Oh, Lord.
Well, I mean, every place he went to, he ended up partially destroying in some way, shape, or form. Disturbing, stealing, He didn't really preserve anything.
Well, you're right. It was funny, though, that that topic came up in a conversation that I was having with a good friend of the show. I don't know if he listens, but he's a friend of ours, Chris Barton, about how Indiana Jones affects no part of the movie. He doesn't do anything. And so we were having this conversation, and then seriously, like 6 weeks later, the Big Bang Theory episode comes out where they talk about that, where he doesn't affect the show, and it like ruins the movie for all of the nerds. They're so pissed off. It's really funny. So that's why that's not my favorite one, but maybe that'll come up later.
Interesting.
Yes.
Fascinating.
Did you guys notice the the radar tracking software they had for the weather is better than what we have now.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
I only wish 3D. We could. I mean, yeah, like, hey, where's the map? Well, we can zoom over, and then the camera pans up and looks at the storm, and like that was impressive. Man, I want that stuff. Can I get that on my iPhone? I mean, according to theweatherchannel.com app or whatever, Sunday we did an event outside of the university, and there was, according to the app, there was 0 clouds around while it was actively raining on us. Like the radar was empty while it was raining on us. I was a little pissed. Yeah.
So yet they've got impressive radar technology. Yet on the telephone call from the boat to the main control room, you could see the video line moving on it.
Yeah.
The what? The video line?
I noticed that too.
Yep.
What do you mean? Sorry.
When they're calling, I want to say it's Dennis from the boat. Like the last call where the guy's standing outside in the rain.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
You can see, so they have to press play for the video to start, and you can see the little what would you call that?
Yeah,
the
like
handle going across the screen.
Like it's a QuickTime file just playing a file.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm with you. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did notice that, but my brain didn't acknowledge it that it was an issue until you said that just now, which is kind of funny. Dennis is a trope, by the way. Like, not only is he a bad guy trope, but he's like nerd trope. Like,
fat guy trope.
Well, he can't just be a computer hacker, right? He also has to be a slob who has like 6 computer monitors, and on one of them he has to be playing a game. And another one, I think he was actually watching Jaws. I think that's real. So, because didn't we see that stupid trope in the movie The Core when DJ Qualls is like stopping the internet from learning that the planet is dying while also playing Pong or something? Like,
yeah.
I don't know why we think that's a trope, but whatever.
Had a quick thing. Actually, I wanted to say that the quote unquote bit of hacking that was going on kind of looked authentic. Like it didn't look spacey. It looked sorry, what's the term I'm looking for? Sorry, it was just realistic, I think. And I say that in terms of believable, as opposed to spears of letters or whatever.
Yeah.
Noises.
Yeah, and I mean,
we did get that later though. Like as the park is flashing that the fences are going down, each park section of the park had its own noise. Beep 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 boop 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 beep 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 bop bop bop. Like, who programmed that?
Dennis.
Oh, okay. No, you're right, Corny. That was and that's one of my biggest issues with this movie is that the computer treatment is real bad, except for that one moment when he's like using a command prompt screen. Like that part I'm good with. Like that, oh, good job. But he has to type in the word please to prevent all the shit from going down, right?
Yeah.
That part I'm okay with. It's we're going to turn the power off and then back on, and the computer says system ready. Wait a minute. So then what do you need to flip breakers on if the computers are on? And the computer wouldn't just come back on. We all know that. So anyway, whatever. That part, it kind of annoyed me a lot, actually.
Fair enough.
What? Oh, what? Oh, so, again, Sam, to you.
Yes.
So, he says, you know how much I do here, and you don't pay me enough, and wah. And then he says, I'm sorry, Dennis, I don't, for your financial problems. And then he says, thanks, Dad. Now, I forever until this viewing thought that was his dad. And then I thought this time, is he just doing that thing where he's like, thanks, Dad? When an older man tells you to not do a thing or whatever. Is that what's happening there? Okay.
That's exactly
I think he's just being an a-hole.
Yeah, I got it this time, but when I was a kid, human. I just assumed it was his dad, because you don't get sarcasm when you're 11.
That's sarcasm.
Yeah.
Miss Chad. God rest his soul.
Oh.
Okay, here's another thing for you, Sam.
Okay.
I understand why he needed to kill the security in the building to get the thingies, right? And by the way, they spelled Stegosaurus wrong, but anyway. on the cryo tube. They spell stegosaurus.
Stegosaurus.
Yeah, it's very delicious.
Jacob, you had one job.
Right. Well, that was the best part of the beginning, like the credits when they first started rolling. It said "Dinosaur Wrangler." Like you had one job and you failed in the credits. No, but I was always confused as why did he have to kill all of the fences around the park? Because we saw earlier in the movie when they were driving through in the Jeeps, there's two dudes there, right? And they open one and then they come through and they close it and they open another. But he's got his hands all over that fence when the lights are red, like when lights are in danger mode. So I always kind of figured that the gate there would be some kind of control. But
I can't remember if this comes from the movie or from the book, but I remember that he did not mean for every fence to go down, just the gates he was going through.
Right.
But somehow the system shut everything down.
Okay. All right.
That was like a program error that happened. But it's explained somewhere, and I cannot. It has to be in the book.
It's got to be in the book because in the movie it just seemed strange. Like they did make the mention, like at least he didn't. He knew not to turn off the raptor fences.
Yeah.
So good for him for not wanting to have those things. Though it was super convenient that the raptors were like, "Hey, the fences are down. Let's go."
Wouldn't you?
Wouldn't I? I guess. I don't know.
I'm tired of cow. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, right. Let's go find something tastier than. Let's go chase these humans. I'm sure they're yummy. But there's all these other animals out here that are slower. Yeah, but these look tastier.
It's more fun. They're like cats. They like the stuff that moves.
Yeah, I guess.
Then they play with it.
They
leave little hands, kind of on the doorstep.
Yeah.
So when you walk up to the door, the arm kind of falls down on you.
Yeah. Oh, sweet. Thanks for the little present there, Junior. But in fairness, when that raptor then climbs through, when she's scared and they climb through that wiring, that would have severed everything that she had just done because that's like conduit of cables. But whatever, that's fine.
I can't tell you how much that scene the first time I saw the movie.
Oh,
I must have been standing up at that point.
Yeah,
no
I was joke.
Just scared out of my britches.
Yeah, literally. He was they're on the
britches.
Floor.
You say?
He was.
Well, we wore britches back then.
Yes.
You know what? Britches.
We had the overalls with buttons because belts weren't invented yet. So.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, turn into a skid, Andrew. Sam.
Earth.
There's, of course, the most egregious error of all, right, Sam? Is that the T-Rex comes over that little retaining wall, and then...
He's got levitation.
And then they go over, and it's like 90-foot drop.
Yeah.
I love how... I think I've shared the video link with you guys, how this guy was trying to explain how the whole movie was about becoming a father, right? Mm. And they get to that scene, and he's like, well, Spielberg really meant this just to throw everybody off balance. That it just this crazy world that just doesn't make any sense. And I'm like, no. I'm sure in the storyboards, all of a sudden they decided, ooh, what if we throw the car off the cliff?
Yeah.
And then we have a tree scene, and they're hanging from a wire. Well, but didn't the T-Rex just come from there?
No one will notice. Yeah. It'll be fine. No one will notice. Just like we can go from the Smithsonian Institute and then walk out and we're in Phoenix, Arizona. No one will notice. That's what he said.
But no, I am right there with you. It's a big continuity error. Yeah. It doesn't take me out of the movie.
No, it's still a cool scene.
But, yeah.
You know what takes me out of the movie?
What's that?
The slip down the waterfall with the whoop.
Thank you, effect. Andrew. Okay, we're going there. All right. Okay, are you ready for this? Because this has bothered me for years, and I cannot wait. So here is the whole little bit.
Tie it to that thing there, and then pull down this thing here, and then
all right, so I took a little bit of audio editing licensing here, and I kind of tried to, as best as I could, kind of isolate that noise. So here we go. You hear that little?
Maybe some songbird.
I just
No.
Like that is unforgivable, Sam. Like, did you just go Three Stooges on us in your movie where he's about to get eaten by a dinosaur?
Well, I mean, it is a comedic moment.
Oh my gosh. I couldn't believe it. I mean, it's a cartoon. Did we just go there, Tom and Jerry? Thank you, Andrew, for pulling that up. My gosh.
That's probably my biggest complaint about this whole movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's not supposed to be serious there, but at the same time, that's a lot over the top.
Yeah. And Sarah tried to defend it. She said, "Well, maybe it's like the noise of his jacket or like," and I said, "No. Sound editor Bob should have been like, this sounds dumb, right? We need to not put this in here." It's just at some point someone should have said something, you know? I mean, if he would have when landed on his butt and they would have had like a timpani go boom, you know, like that's what happened basically.
Or wah, 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 wah.
Right, yeah, exactly. Wah, 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 as he's getting eaten in the Jeep, which, how convenient of that dinosaur to know that, oh, he's going to go into this box, so I should go in there first, so he'll go in there and I can eat him.
Well, do you want to eat your meal in the rain?
I mean, if I'm a dinosaur, I don't care.
Okay.
So, maybe I like it moist.
Gross.
You know? You're gross.
Specious.
I did write that I know we need to invent danger, but wouldn't it have been just safer to just climb to the other side of the tree?
Probably.
Yeah, they went to like the Prometheus school of running away from things.
We're back in the car.
That was a great line, though.
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
If I'm Dr. Grant, was shut up, kid. That's it. I'm tired of your shit.
Yeah.
Oh.
I like the kid.
All right, it's a stressful situation.
He was the comic relief, and I appreciated Timmy. He was good.
Yeah. Poor Timmy got the
he got
beat out of him in this movie.
Yeah, he got the worst.
I mean, if you're an anti-Timmy fan, you know he gets pretty much almost eaten, crushed by the car into the mud, flies in the car over a cliff,
which should have killed him. To be fair, like he should be.
Yeah.
That's the same thing that happened to those poor people in that car that Batman was flinging around, right?
Yeah. Car lands on him.
Yeah.
He's electrocuted.
Yeah.
He's a raptor trapped in a kitchen with two raptors. Again, almost eaten by a raptor. At the very end.
And then the T-Rex cage falls and almost kills him.
Oh, that's right.
The rib cage.
That too. Yeah, the rib cage.
Yeah, like Timmy had it, man. Like, like Corny said, it's a good thing he's like a Super Saiyan. Otherwise,
that's it. I am done. No more.
Right, like poor kid.
His sister is ribbing him.
I can't stand this no more.
Yeah. What? All right, Sam. Another question for you. Okay.
Okay.
They kill the power to the park, right?
Yep.
Okay, so all the power.
Everything's dead.
Everything's dead, right?
Yep.
Except, and we even see the scene where Hammond pulls out the ice cream. Oh, it was starting to melt, which is why he left the ice cream door open, because if you leave it shut, then it would pool up in water, whatever. But in the room they were in, the ceiling fans were on, and they walked into the kitchen and had to turn the lights off.
Huh. Emergency generators?
Right, that's what I was thinking. So, well, I guess.
Why would you have fans?
Actually, no. In fairness, the fairness to the lights being on, they had already turned the power back on because Timmy had been electrocuted. But before that part, like they were in the room, the ceiling fans were running, and I remember seeing that, thinking, "Well, wait a minute, I thought the power was out." So basically, it was probably hot on set, and they forgot to turn them off. But
momentum.
Yeah. Anyway, oops. Is what it is. It's the continuity director not doing her job is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
What? This movie already
is she?
Oh yeah. I already mentioned that the way the computers work and things. That bothered me. What pirate? Oh yeah, he tortures the fat kid in the desert, and then he pretends to get electrocuted. Grant is a psycho. He likes torturing kids. That's why you got that intro. He like torturing kids.
I forgot that Timmy here. He has gone through all this, and Grant is still.
It's still gonna play jokes on him, which she thought was great, which is still funny, but.
Total dad move.
And then, how did that raptor jump up into that drop ceiling anyway? Like when he kicked it in the face, how did he get up there? Because when you see it drop, there's nothing there. So once again,
holding on with his claws.
Apparently, again in this world, dinosaurs can levitate because the T-Rex does it, and now the raptor. So, my God, how scary would that be if those damn things could fly?
He can talk.
And then I wrote steel cables falling out of the ceiling. This place is doomed to fail from shitty construction. So that was my last note.
Engineer, like I said, they've got one hell of an engineer on this thing.
Oh my gosh. That's all the notes I got. Other than my tropes. Oh, hold on. So this is a Spielberg film, which means product placement.
Absolutely.
So,
oh man, who was with all the Jurassic Park gear?
Well, so I counted that as I actually wrote the question: does the product placement in your own movie count as product placement? So, according to the fact that you mentioned it, I would say yes. So, what else do we have? Any other product placements we got?
Whatever Newman was eating.
I don't know. Yeah, he was eating some kind of chips or something.
Well, you've got the Barbasol.
Barbasol, okay, check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't Newman drinking like a Pepsi or a?
Ding. Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah.
He was drinking a soda. I was looking for a brand and I didn't see one because they kept hiding it. So maybe they didn't have permission for that particular soda. What vehicle were they driving?
Oh, Fords.
All right, so you got your Ford and your Jeep. Okay.
And Jeep. Yep.
Obviously, your computers were all Apple, so there you go. You got your Apple. I even made a reference to the Jell-O product placement. Because she's holding the Jell-O.
Yeah.
How about the when they're in the trailer out in the desert when Hammond shows up? You got a dustbuster right over his right shoulder, right there in the middle of the shot. Dustbuster. They're using a dustbuster and they're in the desert. That's funny. That's the only ones I wrote down. But Spielberg is king of product placement. Which I
don't know. He's the king of actually making it disappear but be there. The king of product placement would be your boy Michael Bay.
Yeah, he might be a little bit better at it. The other one I was thinking of actually would be that Batman versus Superman thing when Bruce Wayne gets to Gotham or to Metropolis and gets in a Jeep. Commander or Jeep, whatever it's called.
The new thing.
The new one, I forgot. Renegade. Like, really? Yeah. That's what you're driving? You're driving a 4-cylinder Jeep through the city like that? No.
Hey, it's full of bat stuff. I mean,
Is it? It had a taxi symbol on the top. I'm pretty sure he just stole it from that dude.
Nah, he's good.
He bought it from that dude. Tropes, computer nerds, whatever I said. It could have been a lot worse trope that was said. T-Rex Ex Machina. No montages, which is good, right? We didn't have any of that, so I appreciate that. You want some clips?
Let's do some clips.
All right, yeah, cool.
No, did you say no?
No, I didn't say that. Come on.
All right, here's
don't be silly.
Here's 29 seconds of Alan being a dick.
And he slashes at you with this 6-inch retractable claw, like a razor, on the middle toe. He doesn't bother to bite your jugular like a lion, say. No. He slashes at you here, or here. Or maybe across the belly, spilling your intestines. The point is, you are alive when they start to eat you.
That's right.
And that's how they did the beginning of Thriller.
Thriller!
I captured this.
Meanwhile, that kid is peeing his pants.
Right. Which
I love the theory that kid turns out to be the Chris Pratt character.
I like that idea a lot.
Jurassic World.
which is why he's attracted to the raptors, is because he has such a healthy fear and respect for them, because he's the alpha. This made me laugh, and it's somebody laughing.
Perfectly with shirt off.
Just with him growling, like, oh, here comes Molly. he's playing with a chew toy. Okay, here's another real quick sin, Sam. Sorry. This one actually really bothered me, and it's only because of my profession. But when they're sitting around the dinner table, and they've got all those slide projectors showing images around the wall, those are eye level. That is the most inconvenient and obtrusive, offensive way to show slides ever. And yeah, they're noisy, which is kind of annoying because you could keep hearing them click, click, click. But my gosh, why do they have to be eye level? I mean, I would be constantly the actors probably were constantly shielding their faces from these bright projector bulbs in the darkest dinner hall we've ever seen. It was a neat shot, but my gosh, it drove me bananas. But anyway, but here's a really great little line from Malcolm, who in the book has some of the best dialogue in the book.
Absolutely.
Especially when he's hallucinating, going in and out of consciousness. Here we go.
Yeah, but your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should.
Yeah, you can even hear the projectors in the background being noisy. Sam, Corny, I had to capture this.
Hold on to your butts.
So I might keep that forever. I'm also going to keep this. The next time Sam goes on one of his weird rants about something that he thinks is important, I'm just going to say,
that is one big pile of shit.
There you go.
As soon as I heard that, I was like, yes, Sean's going to capture that.
Yeah. It actually does kind of turn into a game what is Sean going to capture this week? Yeah.
Yeah.
What? I don't know. What is this? I don't remember.
Tied to
Oh, yeah, the falling noise. Yeah, okay. I'm not going to play it again, because whatever.
I hate trees. They don't bother me. Oh, yeah, well, you weren't in the last one.
That was funny.
Been great if that had been a sequel and she wasn't in the last one. It's been great.
Another little kind of thing that kind of bothered me a little bit, and only this time watching it. So what you're telling me, movie, is that Dr. Hammond, or John Hammond, has all these brilliant scientists who do the DNA thing with their futuristic virtual reality gloves, the power gloves from Nintendo, right? While using a welding shield or whatever. Not one of them thought about, there's these West African frogs that can change sex. Maybe we shouldn't use them.
Yeah, I wondered about. I've always wondered about that watching the movie, but every time I watched it, that I was old enough to understand it. But I also wondered, why would they use an amphibian when dinosaurs are not amphibians?
Reptilian, yeah.
No. Yeah, it would have made more sense that they would have used. Now, again, in fairness to Michael Crichton, when he wrote the book, we didn't really know that. Dinosaur basically means thunder lizard. So we thought that that's what they were until we were they started really doing more research and learned that they actually are more bird-like. They have since discovered that raptors had feathers, and they're not even the Utah raptor, which they discovered, would actually be the size of the raptors in this movie, but velociraptors are like 3 feet tall, Sam?
Yep.
Yeah, so. And I learned that not from Dinosaur Train, but from actual other stuff. But also Dinosaur Train. Anyway, here's the line. Here's the bit.
Mutated the dinosaur genetic code and blended it with that of frogs. Now, some West African frogs have been known to spontaneously change sex from male to female in a single-sex environment. Malcolm was right. Look, I found a way.
I I gotta edit that there.
So in North Carolina, which bathroom would they use?
Oh, nice.
Oh, thank you, Sam.
It's going to be a really dinosaur subject.
Always topical. This was a great line.
This is just a delay. That's all it is. All major theme parks had delays. When they opened Disneyland in 1956, nothing worked.
Yeah, but John, if the Pirates of the Caribbean breaks down, the pirates don't eat the tourists.
I mean, not at least, this year, but...
Yeah, not this year.
In the future.
Yeah. This was another thing that kind of, I remember thinking was, it wasn't annoying or anything, it was just a weird thing that they kept saying the phrase, because like when they're eating ice cream, and she's like, you don't have control, we need to, because people are dying. What people? One guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, the lawyer has died. They don't know that Nedry is dead. They don't know. So, not people, guy. Right? I mean...
Well, they might also be talking about the guy that got the raptor in the first scene.
And at that point, she doesn't know where everybody is.
But do they know that? Does she know about that first dude? I mean...
I don't know.
I mean, they might not know about that guy. But, I mean... Sam, you said where everyone is. Who is everyone? We're missing 3 people.
Grant
four people. Yeah. So Grant, the kids, the lawyer. Right. So 4 people. Yep. They've seen Gennaro dead, and they saw the footprints of Grant and the kids.
They also have Ian Malcolm, who told them what was going on.
Right.
And as far as he knows, since they were out there picking him up, the pieces of Ian up.
Right.
Grant's not there. The kids aren't there. I guess they would assume that people were dying.
I guess and then Attenborough says it later on when he says to tell them to shut down the system. We can't use a licensing contingency, so we're gonna have to shut down the system, restart the system. And he says people are dying. No, they're not. One guy's died. Only 5 people die in the whole movie anyway. So
listen, Sean, all lawyers matter.
Oh boy.
Okay.
I'd like to point out, Sean, that you just did the quirky cop who destroyed a lot of property.
Mm-hmm. I did.
Captain, it was just one dude. One dude's dead. I didn't kill an entire block. They were dead when I got there.
I'm not saying that one man's life doesn't matter. My point is that the dialogue they were using implies that dozens and dozens of people have died. We need to correct this thing so that, we need to stop the bloodshed. No. One lawyer died on a toilet in kind of a funny manner. That's my point. Jurassic World, lots and lots of people died in Jurassic World. That was kind of, what I'm saying? Like, especially that poor woman who got picked up and then dropped and picked up and then eaten by the big thing. Like, if you want to say...
the hot one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to throw out that line, people are dying, that's very, very accurate is my point. I know. But whatever. It's again, I'm nitpicking here. It's not really important. It didn't bother
she was basically the Russian nesting doll of that movie.
Yeah. She's my celebrity, I have a deal with my wife that if I ever meet her.
Oh yeah.
Really?
The list.
The babysitter?
Yeah, Katie McGrath.
Yeah. She's not on my list.
You had that name ready to go.
I did. She was in the show Merlin as Morgana, and we watched it. It was a show that Karen and I watched, my wife and I watched, for, I guess, a couple of years while it was out a few years ago. And that's where I first saw her, and I was like, dang, she's kind of hot.
It's funny, if you look on her first picture, go on her IMDb page, and then you look under her photos, and under the first picture, she's with some guy named Bach Van Blerk. He kind of looks like you, Andrew.
Really?
Yeah, it's like she's putting makeup on you. It's just kind of freaking me out.
Nice.
Freaking me out, man.
Here, I say, if you guys aren't right there, I can put a copy of the link into Skype real quick.
Please do. I'm way too lazy to type.
She's got a little bit of the... God, what's the name of that look? That woman.
There, it's in Skype.
She's naked all the time. Sin City.
Foot face.
Not Footface.
She's naked all the time, and she's Eva Green.
Penny Dreadful. Eva Green. She's kind of got an Eva Green look on her.
Yeah, a little bit. She also kind of reminds me of Keira Knightley a little bit.
Yeah.
He does kind of look like me.
Right? Isn't that kind of freaky? Yeah, go to Skype and check out them thing there. Like, he looks like Andrew.
He does look She's painting your mutton chops.
Yeah. I think I'm going to make that my profile picture.
You should. Paint me like one of your French girls.
Son of a bitch.
Right?
Awesome.
That's uncanny. Is creepy. That is uncanny. Oh my gosh.
That's not Jane, is it? From Firefly?
Buck Van Bleur.
No, that's not him.
That's an alien name. That is an alien name.
Yeah, Buck Van Bleek. Yeah. Anyway, well,
that's incredible.
Good for Andrew having his
like down right to the I'm tired of this smile. I mean, I saw this.
Why is this woman touching me? I guess if it was actually Andrew, he would actually just already be making out with her at that point. Yeah. Here we go. This is a thing that happened.
I can't not look at this now.
Right? Here we go.
Clever girl.
Now you knew I was going to get that one.
Oh, did you hear that they did a commercial, like a makeup commercial about that? Easy breezy, beautiful, clever girl.
Really? Are you serious?
Nice.
No, they didn't.
Oh man, that would have been great. I want that to be real. Oh man. Easy breezy, clever girl, and it shows them like putting makeup on a raptor. That would be hysterical. Oh, here we go. And this one was for you, Sam.
It's a unit system. I know this.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. We store our files in a 3-dimensional floating space thing. And did you ever notice that there was a packet called Zool? That's always like reminded me of Ghostbusters. I don't know if that's what it's from, but it says Zool. Or maybe it says zoo with an exclamation point. I don't know. But anyway, I thought it said Zool. There we go.
And now for some more bad news. Ready?
I'm just going to cook through some of this as quickly as I can because we're getting a little long in the tooth of this show. This is one of the most famous and oldest pieces of trivia about the movie. When the T-Rex comes through the glass roof of the Ford Explorer, the glass was not meant to break. And so the fear on the kids' faces is real because it's big scary dinosaur trying to kill them. Crap, too many things. Easy, breezy, beautiful, clever girl. Thank you, Corny. That's great.
I did not make that. That was already
Is that already real?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, we have to put it on Facebook. When the Hurricane Iniki hit, I thought in the Pacific they were called typhoons. And there's still hurricanes out there. I don't know why.
Look, I don't have time for you.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry, I'm just kidding.
And then when Hurricane Iniki hit, the cast and crew were all required to move to the ballroom of the hotel they were staying in. Richard Attenborough, however, stayed in his hotel room and slept through the entire event. When asked how he could possibly have done this, he said, "My dear boy, I survived the Blitz." So, Universal paid Michael Crichton $2 million for the right of his novel before it was even published. Now, there was really great... Oh, actually, there it is. Never mind. I'll read it. There's a joke about Michael Crichton. Why did you call it Jurassic Park and put a dinosaur from the Cretaceous period on the cover? And he said, quote, "That was just the best looking design." There's only 15 minutes of actual dinosaur footage. 9 minutes were Stan Winston's animatronics. 6 were ILM CGI. This one I thought was really interesting piece of trivia. James Cameron wanted to make the film, and the rights were bought a few hours before he could bid. Upon seeing Jurassic Park, Cameron realized that Spielberg was the best choice because he wanted to make it a much more violent aliens with dinosaurs kind of vibe, which wouldn't have been fair to children. But a lot of what, supposedly the technology used for this movie was influenced by Terminator 2 Judgment Day. So, I don't believe this one, but I wrote it down anyway. Jim Carrey was considered for the role of Ian Malcolm, That sounds like a terrible idea, especially the sexy shot. I don't believe that.
Especially at that point in his career.
What was he doing in '93? Was that Mask or Ace Ventura?
It's around there.
Yeah, Ace Ventura. Yeah, he was a known commodity. He was mostly just that funny dude from that SNL ripoff show. What was that called?
In Living Color.
In Living Color. Yeah. Jim Carrey was. I said that. Sean Connery was offered the role of John Hammond based on his performance as Professor Henry Jones Sr., but he turned the role down. This one I find actually the most interesting.
I spread no bench.
Michael Crichton's agents circulated the books to 6 studios and directors. Warner Brothers wanted it for Tim Burton. Columbia wanted it for Richard Donner. Fox wanted it for Joe Dante, while Universal wanted it for Spielberg. Now, just thinking about that for a minute, the idea of a Tim Burton version of this movie sounds super fascinating to me.
It really does.
I kind of want to see that. I have also contended to this day that if the first 3 versions, or mainly the first 2 versions of Harry Potter movies were done by Tim Burton, I would have been way more interested in watching those movies when they first came out. Just saying.
That would be.
I don't know.
It'd be really cool if a director would say, "Hey, you know what? I love your style. I want you to take my film and redo it in your style."
Yeah,
I think it would be awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I just worry. Tim Burton has a tendency to lose the story in the spectacle.
Yeah, maybe less than like Michael Bay. But I still think that Tim Burton is still a really great storyteller. I mean, this is 93. This is like, we were what fresh from Nightmare, right? I can't remember when Nightmare was.
It was around there, yeah.
Yeah, we were like real close to that. I mean, I think
Batman, was.
Well, Batman was 89. Yeah. I mean, Darkman had just come out. So
Batman Returns was probably there.
Yeah,
somewhere.
so I think it wouldn't have been weird. I think, and we still would have gotten the spectacle, but it might have been a little too dark. I don't know. I think Spielberg was the perfect person to do this movie, but I'm just saying I wouldn't, if I could just like put on some weird glasses and go back and look at how it would have looked like had he done it, I would have found it interesting. All right. More proof that the IMDb trivia is bullshit. Here we go. A dinosaur. Now, Sam, you might argue with me on this one, but I would like to.
I hope so.
I want your input. Seriously, a dinosaur or any other large reptilian creature is never killed by a human being throughout the course of the film series until Jurassic World. Do you think that's true?
Okay, so a dinosaur has never been killed until Jurassic.
So we're saying in the movies, the first 3 movies, no human kills a dinosaur.
No, I disagree.
Right. Why?
Especially in the second one with probably the dumbest scene ever.
Right, but
when Gymnast Girl pushes it on the spikes.
And like impales it to death.
And a girl, once again, we've got a Super Saiyan. Children.
Right.
That ruined that movie for me.
Right.
It would have been awesome.
Yeah, this 90-pound girl does an uneven bar routine and kicks a, 800-pound bird dinosaur thing out a window into its death? No.
Yeah.
She would have bounced off that thing like it was a brick wall.
Yeah.
But whatever.
So yeah, I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Is that she killed it. I think she killed it. So whoever wrote that, you have obviously not watched Lost World. Because I actually wrote underneath it, not true Lost World gymnastics. That's literally what I wrote.
Oh, I can't believe you put that in there. That was such a bad choice.
Me?
No, the Spielberg in number 2.
Oh yeah. Well, he is. I mean, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, proof that the man can make a bad movie. War of the Worlds, proof that even Spielberg can have his star crash. So.
Yeah. Although that movie has its moments that are pretty cool. It's just such a bad ending that it leaves a bad taste in your mouth.
I think it's a bad beginning, middle, and end. Like, I think...
So what is left?
I have a real hard time defending that movie with anything. I think Tom Cruise in it is fine. I think the Fanning girl, she's good, but all she does is scream the whole movie. Yeah. But the problem is that movie doesn't work in the years that we live in now. It doesn't. In the year 2000. Yeah, it doesn't work now. You know, how many satellites do we have looking down at the Earth, taking photos of the ground for subways and things like that? We would have seen giant metal machines down there. Is what I'm saying.
At least one from Dave Matthews, I've been told.
Yeah. So, anyway, that's fine. Whatever. That's not this movie. Recasting. I guess. Do we need to do the recasting game since they just?
I don't want to. I think it's perfect.
I think it is too. Harrison Ford was actually offered the role and turned it down, and then later watched it and said, "Good choice," because Sam Neill's great. Which I think is good. I mean, yeah, I think it was a good cast. Oh, they did have again more IMDb bullshit, but they have like, you know, such and such was also thought of for the casting, you know? So they had like every female that was popular in the mid-90s as possible for the lead female role.
Including Rosie Perez.
I mean, who's that? Rosie Perez? Should I know who that is?
She would have been good or something.
Yeah, there we go.
From White Men Can't Jump?
Yeah. Nice, Andrew.
Sandra Bullock, Gwyneth Paltrow, Julianne Moore, Helen Hunt, Terry Hatcher, Elizabeth Hurley, and Cheryl Finn were all tested for the role of Ellie Sattler. Really? All of them? Actually, Elizabeth Hurley, she's hot. I'd have been good with that.
I actually would have preferred any of those over
Laura Dern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She didn't do it for me.
I don't know who she is.
I appreciated that they cast people who weren't just beautiful. These were regular folks.
Well, that wasn't even it for me though. Like it wasn't the fact that she's not ugly, but
no, I thought some of her acting was bad.
Yeah, me too.
Like when she walks up and she's like, "Run!" I thought that was
right after the ass shot.
Yeah, and then she it was
in her mom pants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her mom shorts.
Ain't nothing wrong with mom shorts.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, because Horny wears them every Saturday while he's cleaning the house. And
with
his feather duster. Soundtrack grade is just flipping awesome. That's all I'm going to say. It's just flipping awesome. What did we learn? We learned that the dinosaurs that they have don't actually look like dinosaurs that there are happening. That's okay.
No feathers, but I don't want to see dinosaurs with feathers.
Well, B.D. Wong tells us why, so that's okay in the last movie.
By the way, I've already known that whenever B.D. Wong, wow, that was really partially racist for me. Whenever B.D. Wong shows up in a movie, you know some shit's going to go down.
Pretty much. Here we go. Believe it or not, this is our first Spielberg movie we've done for the show.
Well, if you think about it, Netflix isn't a haven for Spielberg.
It really isn't. There's actually
he's such a bad director.
Yeah, because he does such shit films all the time. I think 1010 was on here for a little while. Maybe not. I don't remember. I liked that.
Yeah,
movie.
I think it was actually.
I do too.
I actually really liked it. It was very fun and endearing, and Declan liked it a lot. So anyway, top 3 Spielberg films. Andrew.
All right, I got some honorable mentions with Bridge of Spies and Lincoln.
Never seen Lincoln. Bridge of Spies was great.
Yeah. If you haven't seen Lincoln, it's not an action movie or anything, but the Daniel Day-Lewis does a great job, and it is really, if you're a history buff like I am, it's worth a watch. Number 3. Or genre, but it's fun to watch. I watch it once in a while, and the music again is great. It's John Williams again, which I think Steven Spielberg and John Williams are just a bromance there. And number 2, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and number 1, for many reasons, mainly it's one of my fondest memories of childhood is going to the theater and watching Hook.
Okay.
Hook. Wow.
Have you watched Hook recently?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's one of those I watch, like once a year or so.
Yeah, it was on when Sarah and I and the family were up at the mountain condo recently, and we watched it with Declan, and I had kind of forgotten how silly and cartoony and kind of bad that movie is, but I didn't care either, for kind of the same reasons. Because that was a movie I watched with my buddy Steven, who's a friend of the show, a bunch, and we argued, and I think I mentioned it on this podcast, but I don't remember why. But I remember arguing with him the ending of Hook, when the alligator falls, and he screams, "I want my mommy," and then he disappears, and then the alligator burps. I argued. My point was that he actually ran away. Hook actually escaped in the dust and confusion, and they were going to have a sequel.
No.
To which Steven was like, "But the thing burps." I'm like, "How can a dead alligator burp?" It's. But that was my argument. So anyway.
So how's that sequel going for you?
Well, for what it's worth, the movie didn't really do financially great, so that's probably the reason why. But the soundtrack of that was one of my favorites. All right, cool. Corny.
All right, I'm gonna go with my number 3 as Minority Report.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
I thought
it's been a long time since I've seen that, but it was really interesting.
I thought I was going to be the only one that was going to mention that movie tonight.
Oh, well, you were wrong.
Thank you.
All right, so I'm gonna go with my number 2 as the Indiana Jones first one.
Okay.
All right, and I think I'm gonna go with my number 3 is Saving Private Ryan.
All right.
It's a good one.
Nathan Fillion's in that.
Saving Ryan's Privates?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Shaving Ryan's Privates.
Shaving, that's right.
Shaving, yeah.
All right, Sam?
I've got my number 3 as...
I should know that since it's in my...
It's in your porn collection. Come on, Andrew.
Yeah.
You're our porn expert. Apparently.
I put Indiana Jones down.
He's our sexpert.
At number 3, I put Indiana Jones down as the compilation, but after the 4th one, I don't want to put the whole set, so I'm going to have to say Crusaders is my
The Last
favorite. Yeah. Number 2, I've got Saving Private Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
And my number 1, again, and by the way, I have to give it to you, Sean. You finally figured out a way where I cannot put Jurassic Park as my number 1 spot. But Schindler's List is just
I really thought you were going to say Jurassic Park 3.
Oh, good Lord, no. No.
Just real quick, I actually put out out on Twitter, hey, we're doing top 3 Spielberg films, and some people actually chimed in, so I'm going to give them credit for participating in the show. So
awesome.
At Kevin Wright Stuff, he writes paper and pen. Last Crusade, Jurassic Park. Well, it's his Twitter handle. Who cares? Last Crusade, Jurassic Park, Jaws. He obviously doesn't know the rules. At Owen James, Tintin, Hook, Close Encounters of a Third Kind, and at M and the Boys, at MJ and the Boys, Raiders, Jaws, Jurassic Park. So there you go. Thank you guys for participating. If you participate in the show, we will give you whatever. And Sam, apparently you just said suck it to our podcast. So for some reason.
Fair. That's completely fair.
My number 3 is Minority Report. I just like that movie for some reason. I think it's fun.
Dude, the eye scene creeps me out every time.
I know, right?
Oh, my God.
Saving Private Ryan would be number 2, and Last Crusade would be my number 1. There you go. That's going to do it. I don't think we have any of the email. Let me double check. I was just there. No emails this week. That's fine. No one loves us. Whatever.
That's all right.
Out of 10.
Dun, dun, dun.
Should we be using the Price is Right theme?
Really quickly before we do out of 10, I forgot to mention this. Another sound that really it didn't bother me, but it made me kind of laugh a little bit, was when Dennis is at the table eating and then he laughs. He has this like high-pitched sound that sounds like a velociraptor.
Weird.
Weird. I don't know.
Not to mention, someone's going to eat that pie with the shaving cream at some point.
Oh, yeah.
I know. I felt so bad for that poor person. It's like, oh, my gosh, this is the worst thing ever. I'm never coming back here. And then I'm sitting there going, can I have some more tacos? Andrew, out of 10, sir.
All right. I'm going to go 8.12 country DNA strands.
Okay.
Awesome.
Corny.
I'm going to go 8.6. Yes, I hope they die and they deserve to burn in dinosaur hell. Out of 10.
All right. Sam?
You knew it was coming.
Perfect 10?
Favorite movie. I've got to do this is my first perfect 10. 10 half-eaten lawyers out of 10.
I think this was Gennaro. I think this was too. Ew. Oh, hey, I'm okay with that. I'm really okay with that. Yeah. The only perfect 10 I've given, I think, on this show is to Die Hard. So I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm going to give this a solid. I'm going to give this a 9.2 million years of evolution suddenly thrown into the mix. I love the movie. I really do. All the little nitpicking I'm doing is just that. It's nitpicking. Yeah. It's most of it doesn't really affect the story. I wish they wouldn't. I mean, get rid of the Unix system and make the forklift driver drive according to OSHA standards, and it's a better film. That's all I'm saying. I can't get
lost your audio there for a good 10 seconds.
Oh, well, perfect. It's in the recording, so let's just assume that I said nice things about Sam and the show.
That did not happen.
That didn't happen at all. I'm just really curious, real quick. According to officially, Jurassic Park will be our number one movie.
Wow. I'd rather watch Jurassic Park than
Wolf, which is what currently sits at number one.
I would agree with that.
I'm good with that.
That's very true.
It's funny. I was actually going back and looking. I'm actually surprised We Were Soldiers is as high as it is.
Yeah, I wasn't there to down it.
Yeah, that's interesting. Because then you look. Let's just, for those of you who are listening, real quick, who've never been to our website, cheapseatreviews.com, our top 10. We have 3 tied at 9, so I'm just going to pick the first one: Hunt for Red October, Deadpool, Captain America: Civil War, Force Awakens, We Were Soldiers, Silence of the Lambs, Good Morning Vietnam, The Usual Suspects, Wolf of Wall Street. I'm actually a little dumbfounded that We Were Soldiers made it above Civil War, Star Wars, and Deadpool. So
yeah, I would much rather
watch any one of those 3.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's it. Oh, sorry, Andrew. What?
No, I was just gonna say was I on the Deadpool show? Did it? I think I was.
I don't know.
I should have rated that higher because that's really one of my favorite films. It's in my top 10.
I don't know if you were part of the show yet. Was Chad still with us?
No, I don't think Chad ever saw Deadpool.
Oh, was Chad still with us?
God rest his soul.
I'm doing the thing, yeah. Deadpool. No, that would have been Andrew. No, Andrew, you didn't review that episode with us. I don't have a score for you, so that's why.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that might have jumped it.
Maybe, yeah.
I'm sure it would have.
I guess we could technically retcon it, but we're not going to. That's it. That's our show. That's our podcast. Thank you for listening.
Thanks for listening if you're still with us.
This podcast actually is as long as the movie.
And if you're not, you can go screw yourself.
Good Lord.
Because you didn't hear that, so.
I need to see the podcast droppings.
Lord.
Oh, you mean the... Oops.
That is one big pile of shit.
Hey, can we just tag our podcast ending with that?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I think I kind of like.
Get too old for this podcast.
Yeah, it's kind of I like that one too.
So now I got me, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's you.
Yeah.
I was like, who the hell's doing that?
So now I got Chad and Corny. I just need to get something from the other two. So, like, you two can have a conversation together. I don't know how it would work. You know, so first, hey, brah! And then, then he says, Cornelius! And then you say,
I'm getting too old for this podcast.
And then Chad says,
it was a different time.
There you go. You're having a whole conversation. It's great. All right, anyway, fun with soundboard. That's going to do it for our show. Wait, before I hit play on that, what are we doing next week? Well, next week we are officially finishing the Jack Ryan series with some of All Fears. S-U-M, not S-O-M. Not some of All Fears, but the total sum.
It also will be a good time because their Amazon is coming out with a Jack Ryan
TV
show.
Yeah. I'll be interested to see what that looks like. I think that's an interesting property and an interesting concept. So we will see that one, and we will see how it strikes up or lines up or whatever up with the rest of the Jack Ryan movies. Do we like it? Will we like it more than Hunt for Red October or less than whichever one was least? I don't remember. We'll find out. Tune in next week for that. All right, now I can hit play on that. So yeah, that's going to do it for our show. Please leave us a review on the iTunes, Stitcher, and where other fine podcasts are sold. Visit our website, cheapseatreviews.com. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/cheapseatreviews. Follow us on Twitter at cheapseatcast. I'm at Sean J. Allred, at Soneji, SONEJI16, Sam, at Johnny Darko 16, and at A. Jimison. I just realized that I do your Twitter
word to your mother
handles backwards from the way I always do the show with you guys. Anyway, I don't know why I just realized that.
Interesting.
Send us your emails, cheapseatreviews@gmail.com. Calls are 704-271-4290. And that's going to do it for us, I think. Yep. If you, as we're in the fall now, if you have anything you want us to do for Halloween movies, send in your emails, your requests, whatever. We will be very interested to do. We like the Halloween movies, and so let's find something good, because I can't wait till October so I can go back and watch the
Poltergeist.
The Poltergeist? No.
We got Frighteners, Tucker Dale.
Yeah, the Frighteners. I got to find a way. I might just buy
Zombievers.
Oh, Jesus. Actually, weirdly enough, someone mentioned that in a meeting the other day at work. It was very strange. But anyway, but they called it Zombie Beavers. Anyway, so that's going to do it for our show. Again, thanks for listening. So on behalf of Andrew, Corny, Sam, and Samuel Jackson's arm, this is Sean saying thank you for listening.
The guys at Cheapseat Reviews should have questioned whether they should.
Not could we make a podcast, but should we make a podcast?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, my wife questions that all the time.